Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo Channel. I'm so glad I'm here today. Oh, I had the worst day yesterday. Every Thursday, I have the worst day because I belong to a group that does not accept me. And you may say, why are you there? Well, I always feel like Spirit brings us the people and the situations and the experiences that change our mind and our heart about how we see things, right? So, not just one person learns in a situation. And you guys know this because when you tune into my channel, I talk about the shadows, the spiritual blocks that play out as karmic themes that keep us stuck in the wound. See, we all are made up of half dust and half deity. The deity part of self is God part of self that's made of unconditional love. And when we're in this energy, we're able to attract the people and the situations in our life that help transform us. Problem is that when we get stuck usually in a karmic loop, and that's reliving the same type of experience either with the same person or with different people. And understand when it's different people, it's what really solidifies that core belief about how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. And that's where our habits and our behaviorisms are formed. So you're the alchemist of your life. I can create awareness for you. You are, again, the healer of your life. Healers help trigger the healing that you need with inside of you. We need our own healing, trust me. You wouldn't want to follow me around all day. You'd be like, what the fuck was that? It's like, because the healer's journey is an unfoldment process that happens when you're on it. It's a faith walk. You never know where it's going to bring you. You're just open to the situations. Like I said, some of the situations are not pleasant. I mean, imagine being in a room with 100 people that don't believe in what you do. Even when you prove to them what you do is in alignment with God's laws. Even when they see that it's good, they just don't like the way that you do it, or they don't like a title, and they don't like, and so we all have our unique unfoldment process. So I take that very personally. So again, if you're finding yourself in a place where you're like, people just don't understand me, well, get in the back of the line because I think I'm driving the fucking bus. Trust me, where you just feel like the same types of karmic themes of not being accepted, right? And that makes you not feel loved. And we all need love. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. I can't stand the emotions, because it creates a lot. Um, I'm sorry. Oh, this is where we're supposed to breathe, right? When you breathe deep, it triggers the olfactory nervous system. But when those emotions need to come out, they need to be integrated. So there's a spiritual lesson that I'm learning, but it's a process. So before I jump in, and sorry about the emotions, God, I really cannot stand, you know, being a highly sensitive person sometimes because of that. It people affect us, and even if you don't want them to affect. And if you grew up in an environment like I did, I grew up in an environment where my dad had cancer. Thank you, Sandra, for the love. I grew up with, a dad that had cancer 9 times, 8 times, really. And then towards the end, it was like 5 times. It was horrible, but all through his life, starting at 42 years old, where they gave him a year to live, but he beat it, but he kept reliving the karmic cycle. And my mother was as mentally unstable as my father was physically imbalanced. And that's because my grandmother and grandfather grew up during World War II times. My grandfather got shipped off to war at the age of 15, where he had to kill people. That's not, what I mean? We don't recover. We don't recover. We're not supposed to live like that. We're not supposed to hate each other. We're not supposed to be at strife. That's against the energy of God, the energy of the universe. So, healing the effects of psychic trauma is about healing, is about integration. And it's like I said, we all are on our process. We all live karmic themes, all of us, because we're down here in physical form to learn and to manifest. So they play out within our relationships, obviously. That's why we're tuned in here. We want to know about the relationship, but understand it's the relationships that sometimes we see the karmic theme, not just within our love life, but within relationships. And if you grew up in trauma where, you were made to feel not loved, not good enough, that there was something wrong with you, then this is your channel because you're going to learn, you're going to heal, but understand you can heal the mind, but the body is still going to react. As you saw, my body still reacts. Our body is our mind's faithful servant. Energy that has been repressed, not even suppressed, but repressed, is held in the body. And until we recondition and integrate the body mind connection, you're not really going to see the full effects, because healing is seeing yourself differently. It's also seeing a situation differently. It's transformation, because there's many different realities that play out at one time. So when we have karmic themes that play out that make us feel a certain way, understand it just means that you need to heal. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, that you're not deserving. We're all deserving. You're not here by mistake. You're here by God's design. You have purpose. And understand, people may not like your purpose. And Spirit says, well, you asked for courage. I've been asking for courage since the beginning of time. So God says, oh, more courage. Let's put her in with these people. It's like, what are you doing? No, 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 no. It's supposed to be easier, not harder. And Spirit says, overstimulation. You have to recondition your body. Again, I need to recondition my body. I lived all in my mind. Growing up in survival mode. Body, what body? Body is so comfortable. You walk into a party and you feel like one arm's longer than the other. That's what it feels like. And like everyone's staring at you. And you do great with one-to-one relationships. You get into a party and you want to crawl in a rock, underneath a rock. It's just overstimulating. And I don't really understand why, but it just is. The underlying energy is tactlessness. Oh, and of course, we're going to start off with this energy. You want to talk about overstimulation, being connected to someone that's with this energy. That's horrible, because you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of behaviorisms that just are sabotaging to the connection, because tactlessness. People of a low vibration obviously are tactlessness. So I want to look and see what your triggers are. That's where we're going to start today. We're going to look at the triggers. Cards are going all different ways. Okay. And then we will go into the other areas. Okay, let's see. Only because time. Again, this person acted like they had time for everything else. So again, making a person feel not worthy, not good enough. So you know that the person like deliberately made you feel that way, because when you would argue, it was like in order to get a reaction from this person, you felt like it always led to an argument. And like that, in order for you to get some sort of soothing, and maybe you got the words, but for them to show any type of emotion, hey, nature, thank you, nature, that it's like when a person doesn't communicate and they hold back emotionally. So this is really, our connections, right? Number one, when we meet a person, is how comfortable do you feel? So when a person deliberately doesn't give you time and you feel like you have to like argue with them in order to get soothed, right then and there, you need to take it 10 steps back, Spirit says. Because the person will give you a lot of mixed messages. And and what they're doing is they're testing you to see whether you're on the hook. So again, so this person had a hard time of letting go of the past, but you also have a hard time of letting go of the past and the fears that are associated with it. So it plays out in chaos in relationships. And so we really, at this point, I would say to look at the inner child wounds. And we will obviously see what this person's going to do and look at the other aspects. This is how the reading is going. And I want to kind of just go with it. That is if I could find all my cards. Where are you? Like in my inner child. Well, maybe not. Not if I can't find those cards. We're not going to do that. We're just going to look at the wounds then. So every now and again, cards like to do that. Oh, you know what? It's not that cards like to do it. I like to put cards away and then forget where I put them. Get grounded, Alice. Get grounded. It's like I can't, you know, and that's what happens with a trauma response. It's like, oh, and that's what'll happen when you get stuck in the past. It's like, the same things, the same karmic themes play out. Thank you, Susan. Susan, stable and steady and stable. I like that. You know, that's grounding energy, you know? And I think that would be a good affirmation to say, you know, but with your name, obviously. So we're going to look at the inner child wounds. So when I see gifts, psychic gifts, it means, yes, there was a lot of trauma because a child that survives thrives later on in life. Because remember, the world didn't condition you. Psychic gifts means that there was trauma, and there was trauma at a very young age. That's where psychic gifts come from, because you have to survive. You became more a person in survival mode, and that makes you have to, you know, perceive everything, you know, from every different direction, because that's what survival mind does. It looks for a problem when sometimes there really isn't a problem, but it's your gifts. So the that not really utilizing your gifts as well as you could is also a gift. Could be your sensitivity, like my sensitivity. When I get overstimulated, I can cry. Too much thought, too much emotion can also make you freeze, can make you feel inadequate. So again, the body mind connection, because when a person lives in survival mode, that's what happens. They again have conditioned their body to respond a certain way because it's a habit. It's just habit. It's like, so we really need to be present, because on some level you were made to feel unworthy by a very angry parent, by a parent that had so much rage. So that's ancestral karma, right? When we grow up in a typical environment, that environment makes us feel like we're unworthy, like we're not good enough, like we don't have enough, that only the limitations. So we really have to see where the gift is, because sometimes again they're like, you're like, it's not, and spirit says it is, because it starts with self-love. You understand, if you don't love yourself, that when these situations play out with people, that's what this is, the energy. It makes you feel like, well, I don't like, well, if people don't like me, then I don't like me, you know. I mean, because we're down here in physical form to become the expression of love. So yes, you can obtain that by doing what you love, but relationships are a real important factor, right? And that means we have to feed them. Sometimes, however, you could give too much, too nice. Again, we have to look at the survival mechanism that came from living in that experience in order to really to integrate it. Otherwise, you can't break that karmic cycle. That's really what it is. And I'm sorry, it seems like more education, but we're also going to go into again what this person will do and what they're going to not going to do, because we always want to know that. Just sometimes spirit says, well, we need to like do a deep healing. This is a healing channel, you know. I'm not doing the job. We only have to can be in alignment with God's laws when we're relying on God, right? So spirit says devaluation wound. Again, make that we see it again. You're unworthy. You're not good enough. You're a piece of shit. If you grew up with a parent that talked to you like that, if they told you you had nothing better, like it, like like there was something wrong with you, made you feel devaluing yourself. So when that happens, we're going to see again that continue to play out in our relationships where again I feel like the person doesn't appreciate me, they don't give me time, they don't emotionally connect to me. Inferior wound. So again, like it makes making you feel as if again, not good enough. Everyone's better than me. And then what happens is you see people begin to treat you like that. And that's where really you're like, okay, I don't understand spirit saying, well, look at the other assets. But what'll happen then is you get stressed and burnt out. And that's what I'm saying with the overstimulation. You become ungrounded where you relive that experience. And that's what a karmic loop feels like. So it's like the same type of experiences continue to play out for you and your person, not just you, because you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So you're not just experiencing this, they're experiencing it through their wounds. So, and you're in separation right now and you're experiencing it with each other. So it's just like it's all over the place. Where it's like God actually saying, look at it, making you look at it, because otherwise, who the hell wants to look at it? It's like, I don't know how to fix it. That's what it like. I feel like there's something wrong. And spirit says it's the behaviorism. It's a self concept wound of who you perceive that you are. You're not inferior. You're not unworthy. You're not here by mistake. You're here by God's design, is what spirit says. And at least I know that. So even though I cry, because my body's not on board with it, my mind knows exactly who the fuck I am. It's like, and if you mess with me, I will prove you wrong. I did go into that group and I had 7 people, 6 people, or maybe it was 5, but it was within 7 minutes I had. And I had testimonials from people in that chapter. So it shut them up because I brought it to the table. I know who I am, but it's uncomfortable to be around people that trigger that self concept for me. For you, it's whatever your self concept is, because you're on this channel because you resonate. So maybe similar situations are happening within your life. Um, I'm not connected to anyone, however. And so mental health stigma wounds. So that's what happens is when we have spiritual blockages about how we perceive ourselves, then what happens, that's really the root cause of mental issues, because we feel like something's wrong. We feel like we need to change ourselves. Like, well, I'm wrong because and the list could be a number of different reasons. Anything from, race, color, gender, uh, like love preference, religion. It could be anything. And so, but making you perceive that, hey, this is better, where really spirit says, no, you're better. I don't make mistakes. You're here again by design. So perceiving that wrong. So the answers are inside of you, is what spirit says. So when we're up in our head all the time, it's going to create trigger. And so I feel like the rage that you experienced actually was a mental health issue. And that's because that parent lives so stressed out all the time. You know, And so when a parent lives stressed out all the time, you're living in an imbalanced environment all the time. And you are trying to adjust to that environment. So you became hyper vigilant. And that is a manifestation of, you know, being very psychic. But again, you don't want to really have that when you're dealing with people, because people also have their process of how they're going to deal with you. And so some people tend to get very close in the beginning and want to be your best friend. And then they don't really understand you, and then, or they don't like you, or they have a different perception, and then they back away. You're going to feel that, because you're going to feel subtle changes, and that person's going to be paranoid anyway of how they treated you, right? Because people don't like to be as like transparent, because it might come back to bite them in the ass. So you have to be in a place where you act like you don't give a shit. And that's the thing that's hard for a person that grew up with a rageful parent, that grew up where they needed to respond and react. Because again, the environment told them that they weren't safe. So they're just flying out all over the place. Again, stress and a need for balance. And so balance doesn't come from, doing the same thing. It means that we have to get grounded a lot of times, is what Spirit's saying. Because only in the now will you get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing. So, and if we're getting this reading and this person's going through everything that we're going through, we haven't even gotten to like how this person treated you, aside from the fact that they made you feel unworthy, which was the core wound that is what you're living. And that's through other areas in your life. But Spirit says, don't be a victim. Again, victim comes from being like, there was nothing I could do. Where Spirit says, you can always do something. You may not like what you have to do, but you can do something. You understand you won't like what you have to do usually. I'm not going to lie, because healing doesn't feel good. But you will definitely not like the karmic consequences that come from not healing, is the moral to the story. Again, which reality do you want? And so it comes to that. And so how does it play out? Well, you can have addictions, if not where that physical, like where you confuse like that, a person that's lustful for someone that really emotionally cares, because of not giving it to yourself. So again, it was self-love. Remember, you were taught not to, because you are unworthy. You're not good enough. So the actions and the behaviorisms are going to be there. And so understand, this person could be a sexaholic. And you may be like, well, I could take it or leave it. Or you could be like, yeah, I also have that with them. But there's an imbalance there. And that's going to be a problem for someone that makes you feel unworthy, because you're going to form a trauma bond where emotionally you're going to get connected, but this person has not emotionally connected to you. And that's a second chakra imbalance. And that's, you don't want that within the relationship. I'm glad I don't have a relationship. I was married. My husband passed away. So I'm still the grieving widow. But I mean, I'm okay that he passed away. But I would never, settle for that. Because what you'll see is the person like also doesn't really, they check out. They have a second chakra imbalance. And that is, again, when our second chakra is all about our unique individuality, who we perceive that we are when we look in the mirror, how well we can go with the flow of life. It's through the passion for life. It's our birthing center. What are you going to create through that passion? Is it going to be a baby, or is it going to be, again, whatever it is that you want to create? So understand that. What is the person doing? Well, this is what they're doing. Escapism. And so that person is really going to make you feel like they don't care. And we didn't see you. And that doesn't mean that they don't care. Remember, self-sabotaging energy. I don't love myself. People treat people the way that they are, and you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. They made you feel unworthy. Well, guess what? They actually have that, is what Spirit is saying. So Spirit says what'll happen is it's all about like the passion. It's all about like this person gets like has a lot of it, and then they don't want it. And it's like because they didn't form the emotional connection. So they can go from really like passionate to then being like ew about the person. And that is again like you're going to be in a trauma bond with a person that you form that connection to, but then they're not going to like continue with that energy. So you're going to live abandonment. You're going to live these energies where, first of all, they weren't giving you enough time to begin with. Emotionally, they didn't connect to you. Third of all, Spirit's saying you've already felt unworthy and that was never healed. You're a magnet of whom what comes into your life. God says, you're me. I'm the energy of the universe. I'm the energy of love. That's it. Period. Point blank, period. It's like, and this is not that. This is, this addiction. It's counterfeit. It's counterfeit. So this person could be lustful. And the thing is, too many like barriers to because of past experiences that haven't been healed. So it's like it continues to play out. It continues to play out. Is that what this person's reality? Is this really what they want? No, no one wants this shit. Because it keeps them in it's a root chakra imbalance. So your life is just fucked up straight across the board. Everything's a problem. That's what it looks like. Because a person that feels unworthy, feels not good enough, they're going to see lack in their bank account. Even if they have the capability to make money, they don't feel deserving of any abundance. It's a core thing. It's like the drudgeries of the society. It's who people tend to be like, oh, that person. And that person doesn't feel good about themselves. But do you think that that's how God made that person? No. The world made that person that way. That's why we have to be kind to people and let them have their unique unfoldment process the way that they want to have it, because they weren't allowed to have it. Second chakra imbalance means that. Grew up by somebody that didn't allow me my unique unfoldment process. They continued told me that I was unworthy. I wasn't good enough, that there was something wrong with me. Their actions were in alignment. They were rageful. That's the story here. And so the Spirit says, so you were programmed in an environment that made you feel that way. So you would never really be able to forgive. People will say, oh, I've tried to forgive. I forgave. The Spirit says, not until you embody a new consciousness. It's like you want to. You feel some days that you can because you're detached and you're disassociated from that pain. But you're a magnet of what comes into your life. You're not fooling the universe. The universe is like, yeah, it's still there. It's underneath the couch. Yeah, yeah. Oh, now they moved it into the top drawer. That trauma. Oh, now they hid it behind the garbage. Getting closer, but to getting out the garbage. But no, it's again, they don't know what to do with it. It's still there. Bring them more. God says, bring them more. Bring them more. Bring them everything that will help them heal, to make them look at who they are. You have to do it. This is what Spirit's saying. Otherwise, hey, just time gets wasted, and it's the same karmic cycles over and over and over again. So does that mean that the person doesn't have feelings for you? No, what you see is two people that need healing. So we have to look at the soul mate cards, because hey, you got to know that this is a soul mate. Because Spirit will say, well, like, you may not like it, but you're dealing with your wounds. This person's dealing with their wounds. And it happened for the same reasons, There are messages being exchanged through music and movies. Listen carefully and trust what you hear. So it's like the universe trying to like awaken this person to get out of their survival mind, which is I need to control, it's not safe, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, so I'm not going to let anyone into my life to, actually hurt me because I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not really deserving of love. But the universe is always going to try to, like, again, bring us what we need. It's always going to do that. you know, you guys have had past life connection memories and they're surfacing for this person. And so, there's karmic ties. So this again proves that this is a past life karmic mate that there's lessons, lots of lessons here that were not learned. So you both were born into families to teach those lessons for them to learn. I'm praying you'll come back after everything that's happened between us. I worry that you won't forgive me and allow me another chance. So, down deep inside, this person does want to be with you, but they know that they're not deserving of it. This person knows that they already sabotaged it. And that's what happens. It's like they overcompensate for the lack that they feel. And a person that will overcompensate will do things like get you to react so that it's all about your reaction. They'll do things to like be very childish and manipulate, but and push it to the point because again, they don't want to build that emotional connection. And so they're going to do things to create that energy. But a past life karmic mate, hey, there's still that spiritual connection where the divine's involved. Again, because God says, well, you're down there to learn. You're not separate from me. That's the whole premises of life, to become the energy of God by becoming unconditional love, by doing what you love, by joining and connecting. And that, yes, it's possible for you. It's like that's your birthright. That's your spiritual sovereignty. The fact that we're dealing with issues like this is spiritual warfare. Again, because persons fighting, to like save themselves, but they don't know. And it means that all their habits and behaviorisms were built on that environment where they felt a certain way. So it's like, I don't want to feel this deep connection to you. And you're going to kill me. It's like, I can't have that. So it's not like the person doesn't care. Spirit says it's that their ego is fragile to criticism and rejection. So they've created walls to protect themselves. And so that's what it is. It's like this person kind of expects you to be in a one-sided connection. And that's the problem. It's like, well, I need you to give to me, but I can't give to you. And so it's not like they don't have feelings. They know. But what we see is all this sabotaging, being mirrors for each other makes self-love so important. Again, feeling unworthy. This person makes you feel unworthy. They're mirroring how you feel about yourself and vice versa. Didn't I state this in the beginning? Yes, I did. And Spirit says, so again, the Spirit saying like learning self-love is so important. And that's being kind, being compassionate with yourself to go through those things. So it might past life karmic mate does not mean that you need to be with this person. The divine has a hand in it because you needed to heal. This person needs to heal. We explained why. So Spirit's saying it's all about going back to learning to love yourself. And you can't learn what you don't know about yourself. So that's really what Spirit's saying. But does this person love you? Yeah, but they feel that they don't deserve you. And it affects their level to even be open and have abundance and have other issues. This is I'm the victim. But are you the victim? They don't know how to heal. There's no spiritual help. And that's what's disgusting right now. And that's why, again, we have to watch out because our government and other things that, they want to shape things the way that they want to shape them. Again, and it's not just government, it's every single structure is going to show you a narrative that benefits them, not benefits you. And if you're ignorant to knowing your worth, well, you're going to be the victim every single time. every single time. And understand, trauma makes you not present. It makes you not be in the body. It makes you stuck in ruminating. It makes you have, like, again, makes you feel as if there's something wrong. And so that's the issue. But God says, oh, but you know what? Love is still love. These feelings are just overwhelming and they become afraid. So they run from you. And that's what, because they begin to ruminate, they begin to think, they begin to self sabotage themselves even more. Instead of, do they really know how you would react? First, it was pride. Then it becomes fear. Then they overtalk themselves. So this is what a spiritual block is. So again, this person says, I care about you even when I act like I don't. And that's because that second chakra is, I am not going to be vulnerable. I'm not going to, I don't trust. I have no balance because I don't have trust. Trust comes from believing that there's God inside of you, and that in the moment, in the now, you're going to get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing, clear cognizance. I don't know how I knew that. I just knew Mary was going to call me, like you knew. Why? Because I didn't really care about it. No, because your mind was clear. You weren't thinking about anything. So again, information drops in, and it drops into everybody because there's a reason why God put itself inside of us. And that's because we can't trust the world, because it says, don't trust the world. The world will tell you who you are. Be in the world without becoming a part of it. So how do we do that? We do that through healing the effects of trauma. That's how we can do it. When we see the trauma is playing out. This is the spiritual war that I'm talking about. So again, this person is beginning to focus on their mission, and they feel like there's a connection with you with that. So again, not uncommon, not uncommon. So this person has feelings, but they have to connect to you through, not, like, again, not emotional. It's, well, maybe a business, maybe a venture, maybe doing something. That's going to be more their energy than your energy, you know? And so Spirit's saying, it's like, this person is changing. It's not like they're not, because of you, they're seeing actually what's important. And that could be, again, well, how you try to live your life, how this person perceives you. It's just very hard for this person because they've been so grounded and living in survival for so long that the spiritual connection doesn't really make sense to them. They don't really trust it because they don't trust themselves. They haven't had any spiritual, like education. They don't know why they're the way that they are. They just know that things don't work out. They know that they're not good with feelings. And so, but they can't deny that the connection exists. And that's because it's a past life connection. So Spirit's saying they're not ready by any means to be in a connection, and either are you. But it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. This is what it looks like. God says, only I'm perfect. You're not perfect. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. People have wounds, unfortunately. And when they have wounds, they create the behaviorisms that sabotage them, that prevent them from moving forward, to being stuck in victimization. And Spirit says, but we see here that two main elements, that is how this person's a cheater and they have addictions, avoidance. Now they're realizing, because they don't like their life, but again, the relationship was what it was. And so it doesn't mean you're supposed to be with this person. I told you I would look to see where this person is. We'll see if they're going to do anything. But it, again, doesn't mean you're supposed to go back with this person. Again, have discernment. And that's the thing. Because we have to see, well, are they going to do anything? Let's be fair and look at a deck that's like a neutral, very neutral deck. Even though it has hearts on it, it's a neutral deck. I'm not favoring one to another. It's not a shadow card. Anything goes. I was going to also look for, here they are. The hidden truths are also, maybe I'll use those because that's even more. Uh, what is this person going to do? I will wait for a sign from you. So you're like, this person's going to wait for me. Again, they're insecure and they're not on your vibration. So I told you they're not ready by any means. They don't feel they're deserving. So emotionally, they're not intelligent. They're not going to come to you and become somebody else, even though that they have feelings. Fear is still too strong. So again, even though they have feelings and they're going to give a lot of these wishy-washy, like making you kind of feel like they've changed. The spirit says they haven't changed. They haven't done the work. It doesn't mean that they don't have feelings, doesn't mean that they don't realize who you are and that they're connected to you. It means that it's still up in the head. I need them to I need them to do something different. I need them to be something different. This person does eventually want to tell you how they feel, and that's because, again, like they're not going to be able to stop thinking about you, which is what I felt. They're not going to. And spirit says, well, again, it's the catalyst. Until the person actually learns the spiritual lesson, there will always be a tie. You'll always be connected because you haven't learned the lesson, they haven't learned the lesson. So energetically, it's like you can hold on to a person because, hey, they fill a spot, and spirit says, hey, that spot isn't for that. Just so you know, you got the couch over there. Oh no, that couch doesn't belong. But you actually have 3 couches in this house. No, no, that's too many couches. There's other things that need to be in that place. You have to put something else there. You have to integrate it, or there's otherwise it's still just the wound with couch over it. You're just pretending it's not there. And spirit's saying, and that's not that until you do the healing. And spirit says, it's time for me to heal now. That's like, and that's when spirit says, I'm gonna bring the horse to water either way. They have feelings for you. They have their process is their process. They're not going to be on a horse. They're going to be on a donkey that has 3 legs. Yeah, so they're not going to move very fast, and there's going to be a lot of falling off the donkey, and so you don't want to watch it because you'll be pissed off because it'll trigger your feelings of unworthiness. Like, what the hell is taking this person so long? They have feelings. That's the way it looks. That makes me feel, and spirit says, unworthy, defective, not good enough. Do you know what your gifts are? Because you were born with gifts. Are you utilizing them? Is what spirit's saying. You're not allowed to pass go and collect the 200. It's like, because there's healing. So don't point the finger. It's again, they again, we will be together again. So somewhere deep in this person's heart, they can still feel it. And that's not uncommon because there's a spiritual connection, past life connection. And guess what? That might not be in this lifetime. Again, they might meet you in the next lifetime and be like, here I am again. This time I got a donkey that has 4 legs, and this donkey is trained. Yes. So, we have to make sure that they have the right roadmap. That's a different story, but at least they're working with something because, hey, they're going to learn. Either way, spirit says they're going to learn. They're not in charge. They're not in charge because if you don't have a choice on who you fall in love with. So you could be however you are, but until then, there's going to be a lot of triggers. There's going to be a lot of triggers. There's going to just because he needing to heal. And for you, we have to integrate the spiritual blockages because, hey, not participating with this person because, hey, they would keep you in a place of feeling unworthy. So, and spirit says, so you have to actually raise your vibration. And you raise your vibration because if this person's coming back, they're the marker, meaning that if they come back and you're not on a high vibration, they're not going to be on a high vibration. Again, they're mirroring what you do. So mirroring self-love does not mean I just love myself. It means that I'm pouring into myself. I'm learning. I'm finding who I am. I'm having a love affair with myself. It's a second chakra in balance. I'm worthy. I'm worthy of these opportunities. I'm worthy of these experiences. Doesn't you don't need to be 100% healed, Spirit says. That's my job. You're not even in charge of the healing. I don't know what the hell you're doing in the kitchen because last time you burnt it down. We got to go again out to the restaurant, and I'm going to tell you how it's going to be done. I'm going to be the one. You're just, it's a faith walk. It's an unfoldment process. It happens while you're on it, is what Spirit's saying. It's like, but you got to become somebody else. Again, because you're too humble, you're too feeling like unworthy, you're too not feeling like that there's something wrong. And God says, I don't make anything that's wrong. You've got your pants on like a shirt again. Again, how about doing something different? Oh, you're stuck and frozen. The person's going to do it again. Stuck and frozen. Makes them feel even more unworthy. We got to condition that body and mind to work together. Spirit says, feed the light inside of you. You have gifts. You have talents, Spirit says. It's like nurture the light within inside of you that helps you during the dark times. It keeps hope alive, is what Spirit's saying. It's like the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Understand that. Spirit says, don't do my job, do your job. Be like childlike. Have a love affair with yourself. Go out and find yourself. When you go out and find yourself, you're able to meet new versions of yourself. And you're able to find your tribe. People that, again, are going to support you and not play games and not feel. Remember, you might have conditioned people by being too nice, by being too easygoing, by being too relaxed, by being too, whatever it is. They're not your people. Spirit says you're not $100 bill. Not everyone's going to like you. You got to like you. That's the most important. And that's the moral to the story, that you don't really like you. And that's a problem for me, God says, because I'm inside of you as the gift of the Spirit. And you're not going to like you? That's a problem. It's like gave you free will, but there's consequences. It's like, what if someone came up to you every day and punched you? Would there ever be a consequence, or would you, I guess, keep allowing them to punch you or kept messing with your life? No, there's going to be consequences eventually. And Spirit says, find your tribe. That's what gives you balance. You can go with the flow of life when you're emotionally taken care of by friends and by other things that are going to fill your life. Is understand you're the main person that's filling your cup up. But along the way, you meet people, and this way, you don't meet just one person. Spirit says that's codependency. We want to have other things. So then, this way, if someone comes into your life that they're not really your energy, you can say, okay, I can back away, and emotionally, I don't really care, because you're going to teach a person how to treat you by how you're treating yourself. So if you do the same thing all the time and you're like not emotionally really filling yourself, you are gonna be expecting too much from a person that can't even fill their own cup up. And that's what we saw here. That this person can't even look how they fill their cup up. Spirit says. They go to the cheapest fucking outlet and they buy stale juice that tastes like pee pee. It's like because they're lazy. That's what you want? Spirit says it's again no. Why don't you focus on brighter horizons? Spirit says, oh, you can't do that because the third eye doesn't open up until you're in your physical body grounded. And then again, finding who you are, going with the flow of life through the passion for life. And you're finding your tribe and the people that giving you ideas and experiences that you're living that actually open up your third eye. So you have an imagination of saying, well, you know what, maybe I want to try something else, something that actually is more fulfilling to me. It's like, and Spirit says, that's what that is. It's like a lack of ground. Brighter horizons. How can you imagine it? You think Marc Jacobs just goes out and creates a shirt? No, he went to 1,000 different runway shows. He went to 1,000 different things that filled him. Now, you might say, and I don't have the money, but Spirit says there are free things. It's about a lack of connection within your community. It's a lack of emotional connection other places where you have to train a person how you want to be treated by, hey, I don't really have that much time for you because my cup is full. So if you're coming into my life, there needs to be substance. And that's not wrong. You're holding that person to a standard. This again, that weeds out people. But if you feel unworthy, you're walking around with an empty cup, Spirit says, no, not gonna happen. Spirit says you're protected, always protected. It's like it's not that you're not. And the key is again, like you have limitless potential. You don't even know who you are and the opportunities that you can have because again of the environment that you grew up in. So this person came into your life because the universe is like, this person doesn't know their worth. It's like, and we've been in this karmic cycle just a little too long. I think it's been about 900 lifetimes. Yeah. So here's this joker again in this lifetime coming on in, and they had feelings about it. And that's what it looks like. Well, before the donkey had no legs, so the person didn't go anywhere, but everyone's evolved a little bit, and Spirit's saying it's like, but hey, everyone's on a path. You're on a path. It's all about healing, and everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. I don't care where you're sitting. And it's like, it's about being true to you, and Spirit says, let's look, and we're going to just pull from this deck and the empowerment deck. I feel like we need a little empowerment energy, empower, maybe some focus too. Spirit said, I think you need more focus than empower. It's like, well, we'll pull from all of them. How about that? And Spirit says, it's shining light. Your desire to improve yourself, transform fear into strength. That you raise your thoughts above doubt and find faith in the goodness of the universe. You love and accept yourself as a soul, and you discover the light that dwells within inside of you. Know your worth. The Spirit saying, again, I'm going to tell you it again. I don't make mistakes. There's no mistake. It's again, if life isn't working, hey, we got to try something different. Again, and don't worry because the universe is full of people and there's going to be some of them that you don't like, and that's okay, and some of them that pretend to like you and then don't, and that's okay too, because as long as you're balanced and love yourself, it doesn't matter. Those things are amplified when you don't love yourself and you get put in situations like that to again show you the mirror. And Spirit says painting. Okay, I don't know what this is. Remember, we said plants. And one other thing, career. So Spirit says, I need you to do something creative again and something grounding because it's focusing on your career. And so you're still finding your creative flow. And so understand, we find our unique individuality through the unfoldment process, that it happens while you're doing it. Otherwise, everybody would copy you, God says. And you know how that goes. No one can take what's yours. And the reason why is because I don't tell you anything until advance. Only in the now do you get divine guidance because, Sneaky Pete's been watching you for a long time. Oh, yeah, they're going to try and steal that idea or copy that idea or shit, but they can't because there's only one you. And that's the whole point. Know your worth. Grow the light inside of you. That was the focus part, which was really a lot of grounding, if you think about it. And Spirit says, yes, you need more grounding, lots of grounding, because the thoughts of who you were are like still in that subconscious mind. So you have to create new neurological pathways within your mind by creating a new you. And the only way that that can happen is through getting a better connection with God and with yourself and becoming yourself. And sometimes if you find that life still isn't, then you seek out, and there's many great brain-based therapists or other coaches that can help you, become the best version of you. There's always a solution. But a lot of times you can heal the effects of that trauma yourself. It's all about integration. Doesn't mean that healing feels good. It doesn't, because again, we form the survival mechanisms that helped us at one time. So that's the kicker. The spirit says, don't neglect or reject or abandon yourself. Then it won't matter if anyone else does. Well, that is like spirit. You see what spirit says? Again, this is about you, not neglecting yourself. Again, and making sure you point, which is the whole lesson of this reading. I'm going to pull one more, even though Spirit says, I think we're done, but I'm going to pull one more anyway, which is, you are the boss of your life. You can hire, fire, and promote accordingly. And so that's what it needs to be a lot of times, that you're like, that you can do that if you're emotionally, good with yourself. But if we have these wounds of feeling not good enough and everything else, then it makes it like impossible. So Spirit says, so the key, what did you learn? It means that you got to go out into the world and find yourself. And sometimes it's a lonely journey in the beginning, but you find your tribe along the way. You think, you join that, that exercise group on the beach every Wednesday. Yeah, Clarabelle, she sits right next to me. I thought she was so annoying. She came in with her thing. Her pink fucking hat was so like, she dresses crazy. She's so like happy. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, guess what? You and Clarabelle wind up going out to breakfast like 3 or 4 months later. Why? Because Clarabelle isn't really that bad, and sometimes you feel like you need that. That's a person that sometimes you need that person's energy. And then you go to a wine tasting place because, hey, you like wine, and you met Fred. Fred's an alcoholic, but Fred is very smart when it comes to the stock market. And so I don't mind sitting there for 3 hours at the bar with him. I get all the tips for the stock market. I tell this person how great and wonderful they are, and then I'm on my way. No one's in my life long enough. I utilize every single person in a way that makes them feel good and important, because even though that person's at the bar, they love educating. They just don't feel good about themselves. So when they teach me, because they're my friend and I'm just teaching them through what I know, well, I come back and I tell them what I do. Like, and that makes them feel good about themselves. So I give them energy. They give me energy. You're balanced then, because there's no perfect. We find ourselves. We can go with the flow of life. And that's, again, promoting people and firing people when they need to be. But we only promote people that actually put the time and the effort, and really, like, if they've been in your life for a long time, and need and apologize and do the things that make you feel like they deserve it. All right. I'm going to leave that there. I think I forgot to share about my Otter Spirit bracelets. Remember, don't forget the gift of healing, 35% off you guys get. And I have all these bracelets. I mean, they're gorgeous. As you can see, we got pyrite, we got rainbow fluorite, we got tiger's eye, and all of them. You get the gist of it. Normally I wear them. I've been not wanting to wear anything lately, just my ring, maybe a little necklace, just because, like, again, otherwise it just feels empty. But sometimes you just don't want all of that on you. But if you know somebody that wants, likes the crystals, likes jewelry, and again, it's an easy thing. It's good for the otters. 15% off automatically goes towards saving the otters on top of that 35% off that you get. So again, give the gift of healing. Thanks for joining. I did not read any of the above comments because I am channeling during this time. I'm not answering questions at this time. It's like I channel at this time. You can ask questions in coaching, which I will not be doing that until I have to work today, but till tomorrow. I will schedule coaching, but I did not because when you channel, you can't read at the same time. I'm in a different realm. So anyone that came on that wanted to say hi and I didn't say hello to, which I think I said hi to everybody. Maybe I didn't say hi to you, Debbie. I'm sorry, but like I was in the flow. Um, so I'm sorry, but I will be on again tomorrow. And you're in my coaching, so you can always email me any question that you have, about anything because you're in my coaching. So, you're VIP, girl. You got to know that. So, like, if it's a quick question or like whatever, I don't have a problem answering you. All right. I'm going to leave. Be true to you. Love yourself. Remember, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. Be true to you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.